You ever finally sit down, like really sit down, and that's the exact moment someone yells your name from the other room?
Oh, yeah, every time. It's like the universe knows. The second I get comfortable, someone needs a snack, the dog's barking, or my phone's ringing.
Exactly. And that's what this podcast is all about. Those little moments between chaos and calm, where you're just trying to breathe, but life keeps happening.
Welcome to I Just Sat Down, the podcast for moms, women, and multitaskers who do it all and somehow still manage to laugh about it.
I'm Desi, mom, entrepreneur, serial enthusiast, and fully committed to figuring it out as I go.
And I'm Crystal, multi-passionate entrepreneur, mom of chaos, coffee enthusiast, and believer that a good laugh can fix almost anything.
Every week, we're diving into the messy middle of life: parenting, work, relationships, identity, all the real, unfiltered stuff that no one warned us about.
We'll share stories, a few hard truths, and definitely some laughs, because if we can't laugh through it, we might just cry instead.
So whether you're listening in the car, hiding in the bathroom, or actually lucky enough to sit down,
grab your coffee and let's get into it. Welcome to I Just Sat Down.
Crystal and Desi here. I saw that you went to the Hanson concert.
I sure did. My youth was so happy. It was great. They put on a great show. I knew maybe 3 songs. Like some of them felt a little bit familiar, but they have so many
Like newer stuff.
albums that I didn't even know existed. So there were definitely some diehards there. That is a fact. It was a good show. They put on a good show. I lived my mbop moment and
Yeah.
good time.
It's like Middle of Nowhere was the original album, right?
Yeah.
The yellow one or whatever. So
Yeah.
I only know that. Yeah, I think I only know that album. Maybe a song would be familiar from like later on, but Zach
Yeah.
Hanson is my birthday twin. We have the same day, year, everything. So
Okay.
I always kind of like had a soft spot for him because of that, I think.
See,
And then,
I always loved Taylor. He
right,
still looks just as good as he did then. He is the fan favorite. You can
for sure.
tell.
Yeah.
Crowd just goes wild for him. So, and yeah, it was a good time.
Okay, I love that. I was a big like pop like boy band
Yeah,
kid
I was
growing up.
more of a
So
Moffats fan. So
love the
if you
Moffats.
like the Moffats were like my jam. I probably saw them like 6, 7 times.
Yeah, they were all cute because they all kind of looked alike.
Exactly. Right. So
Okay,
Clint
I love
Moffat
that.
was like my favorite.
Aw.
Anyways, Crystal Moffat. It sounds good. Okay.
Actually, I do know a Crystal Moffat, so that's funny.
There you go. See?
Kind of works out. Okay, so today's episode, we are focusing on body positivity with our children. It's just speaking body positivity because our kids are always listening. And it's not just our kids, it's I feel like the majority of what my kids bring home is from school, yes, and around their environment in which, like, my middle child is in gymnastics, any type of sport or activity where you need to be physically fit and active. I feel like there's just such just detrimental vocabulary. I feel like a lot of the parents don't realize how they're speaking about their kids, about other children, about like how their bodies are supposed to move and run and look. And it's so important to, when we're speaking about our own bodies, to make sure that we're focusing in on the healthy things that we want our kids to pick up on. So for a mother looking in the mirror going, oh my God, I look horrible today. Oh my God, this shirt doesn't fit me the way that it used to. Like, it's just little things that we don't even realize that we're doing because we grew up in a generation where that was so, I mean, toxic normal. Like, when I was writing about this episode, I kind of want to just read this really quickly because it, I was sitting at gymnastics and I was like, started to write a little bit about how we were raised in this generation. And it just kept flowing. And this is, for once, I did not have to chat GPT. So
That's an easy one. Yeah.
So, being raised in the 80s, 90s, it was a highlighted time for the Buns of Steel in 87, and then Suzanne Summers' Thigh Master. Then came Step Aerobics, Billy Blank's Tybo, and the start of spin classes.
Hmm.
Thanks to Hal Johnson and Joanne McLeod, we know that consistent body breaks are an important part of a healthy lifestyle along with a healthy diet.
I love this.
Unfortunately, things like Slim Fast, the Atkins diet, and the Hollywood Master Cleanse have turned the word diet from a healthy guideline into a toxic culture due to money making scams. Let's not forget the times of flat tummy tea and waist trainers, because that wasn't that far behind us. That wasn't,
No,
yeah, wasn't that long ago. I
right.
bring all of these up because it shows not only what we grow up watching, but what our parents set as a healthy lifestyle. This is what they believed to be like. I mean, my mom for sure had like the Buns of Steel videos and
We had the Thigh Master.
yeah,
We had that
yeah,
for sure.
that's
I
it.
remember
Yep.
it in my basement.
Yeah, and like a lot of offices, it would be under the desks of a lot of the women that,
Right?
because it's just easy to conceal. For myself, at almost 40 years old, I'm still trying to learn and figure out what a proper healthy diet and lifestyle truly looks like. We are constantly being over influenced that we don't know what science to truly believe. This is why, with our own children, it is so important to have a healthy vocabulary around our bodies and active living and like our why. If we are constantly being influenced by the internet and we are older and wiser, then imagine how that's teaching our kids. Body positivity isn't just about praising healthy choices, but it's also focusing on strengths like our what our bodies can do, like how fast we can run and how strong we are without saying, "Oh, you're losing weight or you're getting bigger." Growing up in a household where my mother's side is West Indian, it's part of their culture to always comment on the negative body types and we are like I was having this conversation with my mom the other day that we are genetically formed a certain way. Like my mother's mother and her mother, they all had broad shoulders and wide hips. So why are all of your sisters and cousins so mean about the fact that we all look alike? you know?
Right.
Anyways, because of this toxic culture that we've grown up in.
Yeah.
Choosing healthy options deserves a gentle praise, like I'm so proud of you for choosing meat vegetables that will give you the good energy for soccer. A great, great job drinking your water today. It's so important to stay hydrated so that you don't get tired too quickly. It's important to praise things like trying new fruits or practicing their stretches, reminders for mindfulness, and listening to your body. And I liked how you listened to your body or stopped when you felt full are things that we should be saying more to our kids, not please finish your dinner.
Yeah. Guilty.
Yeah. Well, and same.
But you know what? It's funny that you say that because like I definitely grew up in a household where like we were to finish our plate. I
100%.
remember going to my cousin's house and she wasn't allowed to leave the table until all her food was ate. And yeah, so it's such a weird concept. Yeah, anyways, I feel like I should read what I found the day that we decided we were going to do
Yes.
this
Yes, please.
podcast because I think what you just read really goes into this because this is a girlfriend of mine who I've known for a really long time. She is a chiropractor. Um, she's a doctor, but she also, right now, she really um, is a health coach for women over 40. But she had wrote a little Instagram post to her daughters, a letter to her daughters. And I just want to read it because I just found that it was just so perfect in what we're talking about right now and just a way to kind of recognize that trash that was maybe put towards us in the 80s and the 90s, right? So
Yep.
she says, what I want my girls to know. When I look at my daughters, one of my deepest hopes is that they don't have decades of being at odds with their bodies for the sake of feeling smaller. Your body is not your enemy. It's not something to shrink, punish, or outsmart. It's your home. It carried you through soccer practices, late night studying, hikes through mountains, heartbreaks, and the best belly laughs with your friends. Don't waste decades obsessing over calories, cutting carbs, or trying to fit into a smaller pair of jeans. You don't need to earn your food with exercise, and you don't need to apologize for hunger. Feed your body, not just to get through the day, but to actually feel good in it, strong, energized, steady. Movement isn't punishment, it's a way to keep your bones strong, your muscles alive, and your future self thriving. Walk, lift, play, dance. Do it because you can, not because you should. Do what you love, not what the world tells you is right or trendy. The things that light you up, whether it's hiking a trail, painting in your kitchen, or just laughing until your stomach hurts. Those are the things that will keep you well in ways no diet ever will. Rest, sleep, let yourself slow down. The world will always try to convince you to hustle harder, but the truth is your hormones, your energy, and your nervous system need you to pause. And remember this, you are not broken. Your body isn't betraying you as you age, it's adapting. It's asking for different support than it did at 20. And that's not a flaw, it's wisdom. If I knew then what I know now, amen, girl, I'd stop fighting my body and start listening to her sooner. And that's what I want my girls to know. And I literally read that and thought, oh my gosh, that's perfect. But I think that for me, I don't have a daughter. So these things aren't at the forefront for me when I'm trying to talk about body positivity. But having a son in this day and age, I think it's just like equally as important. But it is weird how, like, when I was growing up, my sister is 18 years younger than I am, and my brother is 9. And the thoughts that crossed my mind about my sister in middle school, in high school, I never thought those things about my brother. I never worried if somebody would comment on his body at school. I never worried if how he was dressed or anything like that. But you think about those things, I'm assuming, with a daughter more so than with a son. And I think maybe that's just from having those comments towards me when I was younger. Like, even just like, oh, skinny mini. Or, like I got called that all the time. Like I was always tinier, I was
Mm-hmm.
always smaller. And like, yeah, I just think the 80s and 90s was just like so inappropriate for the comments that were made by grown men to young children. And I think we have come a little bit. I don't
Yeah.
want to say we've come a long way
No.
because we have not,
No, we have
but
not.
we've come a little bit, I think, in, you know, what's appropriate to say. But then also there's like the other side of it, which is like there's parents out there who, are allowing their children to go to school with half a top on, right? At any
Mhm.
size. Which it's like, is that leading more to get those comments? Or is that trying to make your daughter confident? Like, would you speak on that? Like, what do you think?
So, okay, so fully loaded because it is a lot. My
Sorry.
kids are those, no, that's okay. My kids are definitely those kids that like I will just let them wear whatever they want to wear
Right.
and allow that. And one kind of dresses more conservative. My younger one is actually the one who likes to have her belly button out. And, my middle one's the more like athletic and actively, more quote unquote athletic or whatever. But my younger one is just like she's a kid
Right.
and she's little. And
Mhm.
I think it's so important because when I was growing up, when I was a teenager, I would get from family, I would get the remarks of like you're asking for it after being put through so much harassment and I don't want to get into like too much of like the scarring and triggers and stuff like that, but like all the things that I had gone through up until that point to then have like my parents saying like when you're wearing a crop top, you're asking for this to happen to you
Right. And you're
and
not.
you're not, right? And I think for me, allowing my kids to dress how they want to dress is instilling in them that that is not, those two things aren't linked. Like
Right.
if a boy makes a comment on your body, that's a problem with that boy, not with what you're wearing. and
Right.
and especially because like even as I got older, when I would like put on makeup and a cute outfit to go out to the bar, and people would be like, oh, you're doing that for like a male attention.
Right. Who are you dressing up
Yeah,
for?
who are you dressing? And even after I
My
was
damn
married,
self.
yeah, even after I was married and I would go out with girlfriends and you like you look extra hot on a girls' night because you're with your girlfriends and like
Absolutely.
you're putting in that extra effort. Whereas date night, we're like track pants and like buns, you know. But
Because I have no
it's
one to impress. You're
right.
already
Right. And yeah, okay, maybe it's like a part of the confidence of like when I dress a certain way, of course I feel a certain way. Like I feel
yeah.
good about myself. So like and I think
And
years
that
of
kind of can go into with allowing your kids to dress how they want. That's going
MC,
to make
yeah,
them feel more confident and
right.
make allow them to kind of decide if this is how I want to dress.
And for the perception for them to see me dressing a certain way, like especially with dance for years, like wearing like the fishnet and like the underwear bikini bottom and like a cute bra, like they would see me leaving the house like this
Right.
saying like, okay, like are you going to put a jacket on before you walk out the door? And I'm like, of course I am, because I'm not going to go and get gas with my butt cheeks out.
Right.
However, being in a room full of other women who are also working on their own mental stuff, and we feel confident when we enter this room with each other because we're all like, hyping each other up, and I feel like that was a big part of learning that confidence for myself and then instilling that in my children. It's more the balance of learning like, you know I want them to be themselves. I want them to make their own choices in how they want to come off.
Yeah.
And also, I have a son who I'm teaching. He's never gave me any reason to make me think that he would ever judge somebody based on how they look, right?
Right.
But for him as well, he's a teenage boy, and teenage boys, they eat a lot and they slow down where they don't want to like work out as much or do as many things. And I'm sure they'll come back to that where they'll go through their phases of things that they enjoy, but it's trying to teach them like what working out does for your body, not saying like, oh, you should work out because you ate like a Twinkie. Like I don't care about that stuff.
Right. More
And I
about
know,
being healthy for your body, mind, and soul, and
right.
not
Because we, yeah, like after you go for a walk, you feel like your mind is clear, you feel like you have better energy after things like that. And for him, being a busybody boy, he doesn't like to sit down and do his homework, so I'm like, okay, go for a jog and then come back and then you'll focus better. Like there's
right.
different ways of directing those things. And older generations, still we still get the like, as I don't want to pinpoint my girl specifically, but like as girls develop, grandparents and stuff think that it's okay to say like, oh, you're growing, oh, you're changing, but in different words. And it's never okay because already you're in a weird state of mind, you're in a weird stage of life that
Yeah,
your body's changing,
absolutely.
you already feel uncomfortable in your own skin, and then for your grandparents to be like, oh, are you wearing bras now? Like it's not appropriate.
Yeah,
But they don't know, and it's I'm not trying to give them crap, but at the same time, yeah, like we have to do better for these
giving them
kids.
crap.
But yeah, again, going back to what you were saying about like how they dress, how they, you know, is it about confidence? I feel like yes. I feel like they're to a point, if you're looking on the outside, you can look at a child and be like, oh, they should not be wearing that. Like I've seen a lot of uh the kids with the bathing suits saying like the cutouts on the sides are so inappropriate for a younger child. But also that's a lot of what the bathing suits look like now, and it's hard to really, you know, fight the child on what to wear 90% of the time. And I know I'm the parent and I can say no, but
Yeah,
I'd rather not fight about something that's like that when I can give them the freedom and the option to do it with by thoughts and opinions also. Like if, you know,
Absolutely.
I don't know. It's hard. It's definitely a hard balance when it comes to giving the kids like a good outlook on things.
Hmm.
But I feel like it's even with like body things, because for me, I've struggled with my body for many years. I never thought anything about my body as like a teenager or a kid. Like I never thought about like, oh, I want to look a certain way or be a certain way. I think it's just something that completely went over my head as a kid until other people started pointing things out like, oh, you have a big butt, or oh, like all these things. And I'm like, yeah, but I like that about me, right? Like I would try to find like a good thing in what they would say and like try to just let it brush off your shoulders. But
Right.
then I think when I started dating Corey, I just started getting like that comfortable weight. I gained that 20 pounds, 25 pounds when we first started dating. And then I just got that insecurity in my head. I'd always wear his hoodies and his jogging pants. And I would just like be extremely like frumpy or whatever, right? Like cozy and cover everything up. And I remember I looked back at a photo of myself at that time in like a cute like bar top. And I was like, I looked so good. Like, why was I hiding everything for so long, right? And then
Yeah.
now after I've had kids, I'm like, okay, now I'll wear a crop top because like who the fuck cares? Who cares? I don't. I don't care anymore.
That's funny. I feel like it's almost like opposite for me because maybe because I always was just like on the skinnier side, never really had to worry about it. And then, after you have kids, your body's just never the same. It's never the same. And even losing the quote unquote baby weight, nothing is the same. Things are different. Hips are wider. The everything just sits in a weird spot. It's like not where it used to be, right? So I think for me, and I feel like for a lot of women, the motherhood just it changes you. It changes your whole being. We've talked about this before. You're just like a whole new person. You just come out of that a whole new person. And a hard part of that is for me especially was like the weight, right? Like trying to be like, okay, things are a little bit different now. And when you think of it rationally, you've literally just created a human, a
Mm-hmm.
whole ass human that comes out of your body. You made that. So yeah, things are going to change. Things are going to be different. Of course they are. But it's still sometimes hard to wrap your head around that, things are a little bit different. But I think just trying to, like you said before, like not look at myself in the mirror, in front of your kids and say negative things about yourself, right? You want to speak positivity, into yourself, even if it's just
Mm-hmm.
like if you don't fully believe it,
Yeah.
saying those things out loud in front of your kids is more important than your kids watching you tear yourself apart, right?
Right. Yeah. I was getting like, I'm very much free and open and whatever else. Like, I'll get completely undressed and whatever in front of all three of my kids. I know my oldest is a teenager and he probably doesn't need to like, I mean, he doesn't stare, he's just like casually in the area or whatever.
Right.
But like I try to be very like free and open because I feel like my parents were more like hidden, and I don't know if I'm doing the right thing, but this is my first time doing this, so I'm doing my best. But the other day the girls were in my room as I was getting changed, and it's funny because like I wear a lot of yoga pants where like they have the compression thing, so you're like like pulling it up over you or top of you,
They're right
whatever.
in there. Yeah.
Yeah. And but I made a point the other day to like just be out and free. And my tummy, I got the mummy tummy, and I don't think anybody said anything. I don't remember how the conversation even started, but I remember saying to them about, I said, see, I have like this little area in my lower belly. And I said, like, you guys don't have that because this is what I have from, oh, we were talking about abs because my middle child did gymnastics and ab crunches, whatever. She was sore. And I said, that's good. I'm like, that's really good because that's how like your muscles stay strong and tight in that area of your body when you're doing that type of a workout at at gymnastics. So trying to explain it. And then I was like, my tummy has gone through holding three whole people in my belly. So I don't have that like tightness in my stomach right now. Maybe if I did more working out or whatever, it would happen that way. But I was explaining that like the little I don't know, like the little kangaroo pouch. Like, what's the proper way of saying that, right? There's skin underneath my stomach, at the bottom of my stomach, that is loose and has stretch marks. And it, if I'm just wearing underwear, it'll hang over top of the underwear line. And to me, I have no shame in that. To me, it is completely normal because I've never had any surgery around my stomach. It's just loose skin. And I feel like I don't think even working out at this point would completely have that gone. And I was showing them and I was explaining to them, like, I'm so proud and I'm so lucky that I have this little area in my stomach that reminds me of the fact that each of you came from within my body.
Right.
And they don't look at it like, ew, or that's gross or whatever. Like, whereas a lot of times in like media, they make you feel like you need to have the tummy tuck or you need to have a, juicier booty
Whatever.
or whatever. Right. Like, and sure, the words sound nice. It sounds very ideal. And I'm not gonna lie, like, yeah, of course my mind is still a little bit, the way that it is from growing up the way that I did, that like if somebody was like, hey, you just want a tummy tuck from Dr. Miami, would I go? Yeah, I would.
Bye.
Yeah, I would go. I would do it because in my head I feel like I had a reduction done back in 2020. It was covered by our, OHIP insurance, whatever. It was covered, it was free. So yeah, I've been down that road where it was like offered and I was like, no more flat boobies that hang down to my belly button. Yeah, I'll take it. Right. And for me, it was just like the weight of everything and whatever else. So yes, I did that. And right after I was like, oh, I should have seen if I could like do a little lipo and this and that because I'm already out. And it's like all of
Right.
these things that truly they don't actually matter. Like I feel like I'm healthy. I'm somebody who has good energy. I'm rich in all of the things that like, truly feel good in life.
Right.
And that's something to me that it doesn't matter. So I think that's where my mindset comes in from, like the way that I talk to my kids.
Right.
When they're not feeling a certain way, if they're like, oh, my tummy's really sore. And I'm like, but all you had was candy. So of course your tummy's sore. You're eating things that are
Right.
not good. I stopped drinking alcohol because to me, I feel like that's a toxic chemical that I'm putting in my body that doesn't make me feel good in my body. I don't judge others for doing it because maybe drinking alcohol makes you feel good in your body. Like it makes me feel like shit. It gives me migraines. It makes me sick, like acid reflux, all of the things.
Right.
So this is how I explain it to them. Oh, well, mom doesn't drink. And I said, well, mom doesn't drink because I don't like the way that makes me feel. I don't like the way that I act. I don't like the things that it does for me. Right. So it's just, I feel like it's teaching them the healthy options. They're watching you. So if you're sitting there eating a bag of chips and drinking a bottle of pop every night before bed, then you're teaching them those unhealthy habits, thinking that this is a normal occurrence, right? Like
Right.
once in a while we indulge in the snacks, we have the treats because I mean, we're human and
Yeah.
they're
Of
there
course.
and you know,
I think too, like, there's other things as well, like that you really should always speak positively about. I know for me, like, when I was growing up, I always wanted to do like the modeling thing, and my mom took me to like different things, and it was never really about weight for me. It was more about height. So like, that's something else that like again, people comment on, right? But every time I went to a modeling agency, the minute they found out how tall I was at that moment and how old I was, it was a no. So that like stuck with me. I'm like, I'm short. I'm too short for that. I'm too short for that. And I think like, so there's, yeah, it's not always just about weight and stuff like that. It's
and
about,
knowing that that's the industry in which modeling
right,
entails, right?
absolutely. But at the time, I was just getting no's and I'm not going to grow and I'm not going to, and it's like,
You feel like you're not good enough and
right, right. So like, and I mean, I feel like my mom did a really good job of like making it that like it's fine. It doesn't matter. We'll try again. We'll go to somewhere else. We'll do something else. Like it was never like, oh, well, you're too short for that one too, kind of thing. That's
Yeah.
how I felt.
Yeah.
But it was never, yeah, it was just never a thing. But
Yeah.
I just, yeah, I don't know. It's a hard thing to speak. I feel like a lot of women struggle with speaking positively about themselves. And then it's just like that whole other aspect. It's probably easier to try and teach your kids the things that, you wish you said, right?
Yeah.
Or you wish you heard.
Yeah.
So,
It's hard because I feel like also with my middle child, they're at an age, I mean, they're coming into the teenage years or whatever.
right.
Hormones are starting,
Hmm.
menstrual, all the things like all at once, right? And like we have a good relationship where we communicate really, really well, but she'll come home and tell me, these girls were saying this and this and that about somebody else. And I'm like, because these are the things that they hear at home and they think that it's normal and it's okay to say these things. So I feel like the mother might have always been like, oh no, you can't eat that. You're getting too fat.
Right.
And it's one of those things like, yeah, we never said these things in my house growing up. Or well, the kids are growing up, sorry. Like we don't say the word fat. So if they hear it or they say it, it's because of like, television or they've overheard or whatever, right? Because we don't use that in a way to describe ourselves. It's something that's on the meat when we eat it. It's something that like you have fat, but you are not fat kind of thing,
Right.
right? The hardest was when I was pregnant with, I think when I was pregnant with my daughter, I don't know. They say sometimes men get that like they
Sympathy rate.
that's yeah, the sympathy weight, right? So I think he was putting on weight. I don't really notice when people close to me are gaining and losing weight because I'm with them all the time. It's not something that I really genuinely give a shit about anyways, but he must have been putting on a little sympathy weight and people kept saying to him like, "Oh, well which one of you is pregnant?"
My God.
Yeah, and not knowing the thoughts that he might already be having
Right.
about himself. And like when we have conversations now and if he's like hard on himself, I'll be like, yeah, but like have you been drinking more? Because I feel like alcohol carries a lot of that extra stuff that you don't really need. Or like do you find like you're, just not doing as much as you used to? Like, I don't know. I don't mentally think about those things. I feel like my brain has these gray areas where I don't actively acknowledge certain things in my being or whatever, right? So like
Right.
I don't notice if he's put on weight. I genuinely don't care if he does. But he notices himself. And then I'll be like, yeah, but if you're being so hard on yourself and like I look, similar to you right now, like what do you think about me? And he's like, oh my God, no, like you don't look like that. Like, right. So he's very, very good about stuff like that. And I feel like we are all so hard on ourselves.
Yeah, my one girlfriend, we were at dinner the other day and she's, ready to have a baby very soon and she's like commenting that her husband took this time to literally get in the best shape of his life ever. He is like doing
That's rude.
competitions and just like doing all this stuff and she was saying like, are you serious, like this is when you choose to do that? And it was funny because in that moment I was like, oh my God, I am angry for you, but also it's like I'm like, you know what, but now like after you have this baby, like he's gonna have all these tools to, make sure you're the healthiest you've
Yeah.
been in your postpartum, and like that's gonna be great for you, you
And he'll
know?
have great energy for changing those diapers. And
Absolutely. That's what one of the other girls said. It's like, oh, he'll be up every night. He's gotten, his sleep is
yeah.
good and his energy is high, and it's all these things. And I'm like, yeah, it's so funny. Men are funny, but
Yeah. I feel like we could genuinely talk about these kinds of things like every episode. We can touch on this stuff all the time because it's just ongoing. I
it
feel like
is.
it's really hard
Yeah.
because we grew up right in this culture where like even
Diet,
these
diet,
YouTube
diet.
yeah, these YouTube videos pop up of how interviewers talk to celebrities and it's always the women getting, body shamed back and forth.
Right. And you know what? We say we grew up in that time, but like we're still in this time, right? We've
We are.
got the, weight loss pills and needles and GLP-1 or whatever the hell it is, all of these things to make sure that you're just like maintaining this perfect weight. And it's like, okay, but let's focus more on this,
Yeah.
like more on the mental health because, that's the crisis right
Yeah.
now,
I worry about the other things being less healthy for me also. Like I worry about what comes with all that.
Absolutely. Just up your protein and you'll be fine, right? That's what they say.
That's what I've been trying to
Fine.
do.
Just
Yeah.
any problems that anyone has out there, just if you just up your protein, you'll be fine.
It's funny
That's
because
all my Instagram algorithm is right now. If you just up your protein,
yeah,
you'll be fine.
no matter
So,
what.
no matter
Yeah.
what, doesn't matter
Yeah.
what your problem is, up
Yeah.
your protein,
Of routine. Yeah. And truly we've been doing that. More Greek yogurt, more protein,
right?
more like I start my day every morning now and I like chug a bottle of water. And I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, if I drink this water, it's been helping with like less cravings and sugar and stuff like that. So I truly believe drink your water, mind your business kind of thing, you know?
Yep. Drinking mine right now. Cheers.
I'm drinking my protein.
Oh my God.
Um,
That's so funny.
so just a couple, we're going to just do a couple questions.
Okay, perfect.
What do you love most about your body for what it can do for you?
Oh my goodness. I think just like my feet, because as much as they hate me and I have broken foot, which caused me to gain quite a bit. I'm just happy I can walk.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
I always think about like elevators and stairs, and I'm like, I'm so grateful that I'm physically able to take the stairs if I need to.
Or to be able to choose. That's lovely.
Yes, I hate
Yeah.
elevators. When you see people who look different from you, what are the kind of things that you notice first about them? I feel like this is like a very random question because we all look so completely different that there's
Yeah.
not really anything to
That's
notice
so
about
tough.
them.
I come across every different kind of human in my business. So,
Yeah. What kind of things make you feel confident or proud of yourself?
I think confidence comes from just like getting myself ready in the morning. I feel like I just have a better day when I get ready.
So
What was the
true.
second
Just proud of yourself, like confidence and proud of yourself kind of things.
Just when I get shit done.
Yeah. I think for me it's more so about like conversations that I have. Like I love having these conversations with you because it gives you that minute to like kind of step back out of
Mm.
body. And also I love like weighing things off of you too because sometimes you're like, okay, this sounds good to me. And then we'll have a conversation. I'm like, okay, it still sounds good. We're good. We're good.
Yeah, we're still good. It's all good.
Yeah. Do you find that even as we're getting older, do you still have a hard time like with comparison, body types and stuff like that, right? Like I feel
Oh,
like that's normal.
yeah, I think that I mean, I think that that comes a lot with social media for sure. I feel like that comparison, and they say, like, what's that quote? Comparison is the thief of joy. It really is. Like if you let yourself dwell on that, it's a hard habit to break for sure.
Because
Definitely.
sometimes we call it motivation.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I think just as I'm getting older, it's easier to just be like, yeah, that's not me. Stay in your own lane.
Yeah. What is one thing as a family you feel like is the best way to care for your body or to feel good?
Just getting out together, whether it's a walk or a bike ride. We picked up the little guy yesterday. Well, Dave did, and he was already ready to go outside, but I picked him up a little bit early. So it was raining when we got home, and he just wanted to go run and jump in puddles, and so he did, and it was great.
Oh, me too. Me too. I love that.
So just being together as a family outside.
Yes, yes, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, and we're gonna wrap up this episode before we get cut off.
Yay. Thanks,
Okay,
guys.
thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Well, that went by fast. Kind of like every quiet moment we try to have in real life.
Right? I swear I just sat down, and now it's already time to get back up again.
Story of our lives. But before we head back into the chaos, thank you so much for hanging out with us today.
We hope this episode made you laugh, think, or at least reminded you that you're not the only one trying to hold it all together.
Because none of us really have it figured out. We're all just doing our best, one cup of coffee and one deep breath at a time.
If you enjoyed this episode, hit that follow or subscribe button so you never miss when we finally get to sit down again.
And share it with a friend who could use a little reminder that it's okay to take a break. because she deserves it too.
You can find us over on Instagram and TikTok at ijustsatdown.podcast. We love hearing from you, your stories, your wins, and even your "you won't believe what happened to me today" moments.
Next week, we're diving into
Candy and Chaos with our good friend Allie.
It's going to be a good one, so get comfy because by the time you finally sit down, we'll be right here with you.